listening to the Chase Merrill podcast.
What was your workout with you and your daughter?
Super simple today. Today was just chest. So we did 5 rounds. We did 10 bench. We did 10 decline push-ups, and we did 10 incline dumbbell press.
Okay. Yeah. How many times a day do you train usually? Just once?
So we went to the trail. We did 3.5 miles this morning as a family, which is more of a walk because we don't. We've got a spread of kids. We've got 13 to 5, and our 5-year-old doesn't necessarily love to run all the time. He likes to be held and likes to ride on my shoulders. So we did a little trail session this morning, short one, and then just came home. And today's like a productive day, filming, editing, podcasting, getting haircut, normal stuff like that. So normally I just train once or twice a day, and but we're super active. Like we live on a lake. We're always swimming, wake surfing, playing pickleball. We do wellness sessions every single day. So we try not to miss that.
You're down there in Florida, right?
Yeah. We're in Tampa, Florida.
Okay, sweet. Wake surfing's a blast. I was unable. My father-in-law, my wife's family, they were just down in Lake Powell for this past week, and unfortunately I didn't get to go. But big wake surfing family there, and recently getting into the wake foiling. Have you tried that yet?
Oh yeah,
so fun.
Yeah, so actually, do you know Paul Saladino?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was just over at the house 2 weekends in a row, and we were foiling. Like, I grew up doing it. So wakeboarding and wake surfing, anything on the water is my passion. It's what I've done my whole life. So I love doing that stuff, and finding friends now that also enjoy it, like game changer. It's like becoming a kid again. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so envious of people who have access to that kind of year round, or at least seasonally, at least where they can just go out every weekend, because it's so fun. But the thing about like the foiling is it's such a repetition skill base. Like if you're just going for a week once a year, you're never going to be good enough to really enjoy it.
Yeah. So my buddy, we actually went foiling last night, and a friend of mine, he's super active, motocross guy. He's like, dude, please, let's please go foiling real quick. I'm like, all right, let's go. And it's such a skill that there's like, you will constantly have to like work at the basics just to unlock basic skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some friends that are insane on them, and they do it like they're professionals. So they get the opportunity to do it over and over and over again. But like my buddy, Noah Flegel, he's like landing every single trick you could imagine on a foil, with straps, without straps. It's insane. It like blows my mind every time I see him ride.
Yeah, my father-in-law and I have an Instagram thread where we're just like sending each other like foiling videos, knowing that we will never ever be able to do it. And it's just like the most astounding, amazing stuff. We're just like, we can't even get up, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Insane. It's an insane sport.
It's so cool. And it's so low impact compared to like wakeboarding or something like that. You're just able to go into like an older age and not have to worry about hurting yourself nearly as much.
That's what happened with me. So like I started wakeboarding when I was young, 13, 14, and immediately started injuring myself, blowing out your knee, and just everything hurt. Everything was always in pain. And then I started wake skating, and that became a passion because it's like, this is cool. I can still send it. I can still do fun stuff, but not hurt as much. And then I started wake surfing, and I was like, this is so much better. This is just amazing because you can unlock all of that with really no injury. Like,
what is wake skating?
Wake skating is wakeboarding, same speed, same rope, same everything, but you're not attached to the board. So it's like a skateboard.
Oh, cool. Water. Cool. I didn't
it's
even
sad
know.
that you just asked that. And that kind of, that's like the sad part about wake skating is like, it is such a high level sport that is very difficult, and it's very rewarding, and it's very fun. But it just never really got legs. It never really took off as a sport that athletes can make good money doing for the rest of their lives. And a lot of people don't even know what it is.
Yeah, like I'd never even heard of it.
Right? That's so sad. We got to wake skaters unite. We have to get more people into wake skating.
I'm gonna go look some stuff up because I imagine that's sweet. So no straps at all. They're just kind of like a wake surf behind the boat.
Except you're going 23 miles an hour, and you can go wake to wake and do 360 flips, kick
that's
flips.
Sweet.
Tricks like on a skateboard.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, having that background in wakeboarding and starting, were you always into health and fitness, or how did you kind of transition? Because like on your bio it says you test health and wellness stuff a lot. How did you get into that and those things?
Yeah. So crazy story. Yeah. So I was in the action sport world most of my childhood. We moved around a lot. So like it was hard for me to really get like concreted down and roots down into a sport with a school or with a county or something, because we were always just moving around. So I ended up falling in love with skateboarding and BMX because I could do it no matter where we lived and no matter where we were, no matter who wanted to do it or if I wanted to do it alone. So jumping into those types of sports became a hot passion of mine, as was fishing, which led me to just being outdoors a lot. In the season, I'm 36, so I grew up with video games and the introduction of video games and the introduction of kids sitting on the couch just playing video games all day. And I was the guy who was like, hey, friends, let's stop being losers and let's go outside and like, try to flip cows over and go explore through the woods and, hunt and fish and skate and bike and all that stuff. So I got real excited about being outside at an early age. So to answer that, yes, but I never really played sports. I wasn't introduced into like weightlifting or, real wellness and recovery stuff until later in life. Flash forward, I was 15 years old, and what I wanted for my birthday was a job. My dad had he was he was high up in a car dealership, and I was like, hey, I want a job so I can start making money, so I can start buying new stuff for my bike and buying new stuff for my skateboard and buying whatever was hot at the time, and so I got a job when I was 15 years old in the car business, and fell in love with people. Like I love talking with people. I love hearing their stories. I love learning just what they're going through. It's always been a fun part of life to me. And flash forward to I turn 18, and at this point I'm competing in wake skating on a professional level and just enjoying life. Like life was cool. Having sponsorship opportunities and travel opportunities thrown my way was really cool. And I kind of had to make like a little bit of a choice. Like, do I want to pursue wake skating and try to stay in this niche of life? Or do I want to, because I always knew I wanted to have a family young. Like I didn't want to wait. I wanted to find the one of my dreams, get married, have kids, all that fun stuff. That's what I looked forward to. Like being a father was something I was looking forward to. And, had some good conversations with some friends and family. And it was like, if I focused on the car business career now, because I'm good at it, that was set up for a pretty good life. So I got into that at 18 years old. I kind of stopped competing wake skating. I still did it for fun, but just stopped putting a focus on that and just focused on the car business and excelled really fast. Worked all the different positions in the car business, from sales to service to finance to body shop, painting cars, all of it, and excelled in all the positions. And it was really, really fun, and it was rewarding, and made good money, and found my wife there and fell in love, got married, had kids. And then that kind of flashed forward into career world. I was in the car business for 20 years. And throughout that, always was like an uphill battle of trying to stay healthy without the need of 5 energy drinks a day and a pot of coffee a day and all of the stimulants that just keep your brain active, because it's a lot. Anyone in the car business or anyone in it knows it's a very demanding mentally and demanding of your time kind of career.
I was in it for a year, so.
Were you really? Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So you get it. And
Yeah.
so it's a pretty demanding career. It takes a lot of time. So you have to be really mindful. Like it's very easy to get unhealthy in most businesses, to be honest, not just car business. So I was flash forward to about 4 or 5-ish years ago. I don't know the timeline exactly now. It was around COVID. I had never experienced cold water therapy. I've always loved saunas. Like anytime I would go to a gym, I would get into a sauna, and I just knew I liked it. I didn't really know why. I didn't really study a ton of this stuff. Like I just liked it. I just liked it. I liked how it made me feel. I had tried being in the car business, you're exposed to everything. So I had tried every kind of stimulant you could think of, just let your brain wander there. Including any kind of energy drink, any kind of fat burner, any kind of energy pill. Like I didn't have a lot of like guidance in the health and wellness space. It was just like, hey, this will give you energy. Take it. I'm like, let's go. I'll take 3. Let's just go. So my body's been through a lot. My liver's been through a lot. Drinking alcohol to not drinking alcohol to going vegan, not going vegan, going carnivore. We just all tried so many things to see if we could just excel. And I found that one day I was snowboarding with some buddies and we jumped in some cold water, and of all the things I'd ever tried, that changed my life. Like it was just like to people who've never experienced it, I always tell them like that scene in that Ryan Reynolds movie, Free Guy or Free City, where he's like a character in a video game or something, and he like touches the the little health box, and it's like, woo, woo, and you just, oh, brand new. That's how it felt. And when I got home, I was telling everybody, like, I don't know if you've ever done this before, but you have to jump in ice. And people are like, what? Like, people in my world didn't really know what that, like, why. So I started just telling people, and I'm like, I got to tell more people. So then I built a cold plunge, and I filmed it on my iPhone 13, and I was like, I got to post this on YouTube because it's going to help somebody. And then that turned into my career. There's a lot involved in that story, but I want to let you talk a little more.
No, I love it. Because I was looking, you have 55 plus thousand YouTube subscribers. So getting out of the car industry, that video let you get out of the car industry and get into more of the health and wellness. Like, so now YouTube, fitness, that's kind of what you're doing full time now.
Yeah. So I don't really consider myself a fitness influencer because I'm not
Yeah.
like the fittest guy, and I'm not like a physical, I'm not a physical trainer, like I didn't spend, hours and hours and years and studying that stuff and in the gym. I personally just like to experiment with stuff, and I like to learn. Like, I have always wanted to learn. So to give you a little piece of how I ended up in YouTube, when COVID was coming in the car business, at the time I was the vice president of a Ford dealership company, and we were told we potentially were going to shut down. And I was like, shoot, like, how are we going to sell cars if we can't, like, have people at the store? How are they going to see value in our cars if we can't, like, even show them how the car works? And I was like, shoot, maybe we should try that, that dumb YouTube thing where, like, people are sending long videos. We have these guys come to the stores and, review our cars. Why don't we just do it? And no one really wanted to do it. And I was like, screw it, I'll just do it. So I started my own, like, I went online, how do you start a YouTube channel? And I Googled how to do that. And I watched a few YouTube videos on how to do it. And I just did it. And then it was like, how do you publish a YouTube video? And it was all super entry level stuff. I had no intentions or interest in being a YouTuber or anything like this. And I learned, like, how to publish a video and how to make a video. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you have to, like, film horizontally for YouTube. That seems dumb, but I guess you have to. So then we started filming me doing walkarounds of all of our cars and posting it onto YouTube, expecting to just send that link to our customers that were interested. And that was it. But once I posted videos, I realized, oh, shoot, like, why does this video have 1,000 views? Like, how many people do we send this video to? And we're like, oh, we only sent it to like 10 people. I'm like, what? That seems weird. Why would they show it to so many people? I didn't know that YouTube, once you post it, it's like anyone in the world who's searching for that can find it. And then the wheels started turning. I was like, oh my gosh, like, there's this whole new world that I don't even know existed. And we could, like, this could be huge. So I really started to double down on making content around the car business in the very beginning to just expose us to more people out there, not really realizing that it exposed us to people in China and people in the Netherlands and people in Australia and just people everywhere. Simple me, I was just trying to expose us to more people. And then a couple buddies of mine that are pro athletes who are pro athletes but have YouTube channels started to talk with me about YouTube. And then people kind of like like friends on social media who are like, dude, like, your videos are good, you should do some more stuff with it. I just had some encouragement to, like, expand from just making videos around the car business to, like, why not just, I enjoy videoing me and my family doing stuff. We built a chicken coop, we built a beehive, we learned how to mine crypto together. Like, so I started publishing videos like that, and it just got really, really crazy. And then that flashed to the point of, okay, I'm going to build a cold plunge and I'll just video it and maybe it'll help somebody out there. That's what got me into that. And I've always loved to learn things. So, like, if there's something I don't understand, I don't want to hire somebody to do it. I want to learn how to do it first. That way, if I do hire someone at some point, I can educatedly talk to them about, hey, this is how I was doing it. This is my vision. How can we do this together? Instead of like, oh yeah, I want to start a YouTube channel, I'm going to hire somebody to do it, even though I have no idea how it's going to operate or work. And then if that person quits, you're kind of in a pickle. Always loved learning things myself. And that's, I think, what led me into becoming a guy who does a lot of educational content on YouTube. I learn a ton about how these things work. I put my body and myself through the test. My wife does the same thing. My kids will volunteer and do the same thing. And we just really, like, we just kind of tune into our bodies and, like, what do we respond well to? And then we bring friends and family and people over and let them experiment with it too. And it's like, how did that make you feel? And that just became really, really, really exciting to see how certain things were just changing people's lives.
What video was that cold plunge video, like in your own personal YouTube journey?
It was pretty much the first. If you go into my channel, I've deactivated or unpublished a lot of the videos that have nothing to do with what I talk about now.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Vid Summit, one of those like Vid Summits where they tell you how to optimize and grow and stuff, and it's all the same. Like just make good content.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't think that it's that important to unpublish a video that isn't the same niche, because like it's still you. Like if I had a faceless YouTube channel, it was like on shoes, and it was like every thumbnail was just a shoe, and then all of a sudden like a random thumbnail on like a water bottle, like that might confuse people and be like, hey, I thought this was a shoe channel. But like my channel is David Moss Jr. It's not like cold plunge, guru guy or whatever people say. So I still do like to do random, like I'll do some random like talks from the heart and post that. But when I posted the cold plunge video, it was probably a little over 2 years ago, something around 2 years ago, which is honestly crazy. It had to be more than 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago now. Yeah, because I've been doing this full time. On August 7th will be 2 years. Holy
Wow.
smokes.
Well, do you enjoy like YouTube? Like, do you enjoy like the full part of it, and just not just the learning, but do you create your own videos? Do you make your thumbnails? Do you enjoy all of that?
So yes, I just hired a thumbnail designer about 3 months ago, and people can probably notice because they went from just being a screenshot and maybe a few small things to like they look good. I love the thumbnails.
Yeah.
I became friends with some pretty big YouTubers, and they've given me some resources, and they're like, dude, just try my editor. He's epic. Because I was always nervous to have an editor because I had my style that I liked and the style I was going for, and I didn't think it would be easy to have somebody do that. But it turns out it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah.
So I have 2 editors. I have a thumbnail designer. I have a manager. I have a full team. My wife's on the same. She works with me now, and she's now going to be a full-time content creator as well. The kids, we all have a family channel now. So now I have 4 channels, 3 that I am consistently posting content on. One being mine, one being my wife, and one being our family channel. And to answer your question, I absolutely love it. Like it is the most fun thing I've ever done in my life. And the fact that I get to meet like new people every day, have conversations with people who are like-minded instead of just, people who are in a place because they kind of have to be, like, it's just a change of everything. It's changed so much. And I'm very blessed and very thankful to be on this journey with people.
Just give me one quick moment, then we'll be right back to the episode. If you are enjoying the show, go ahead and give me a follow or subscribe wherever you are listening. It helps way more than you'd think. And if you wouldn't mind leaving a rating or a review, that helps new people find the show as well. And if you have any questions or comments or recommendations for guests, go ahead and reach out to me at Chase C. Merrill on Instagram or leave a comment right here on Spotify. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's get back to the episode. When you were in the car dealership world, did you enjoy that? Like, were you happy with what you were doing? Did you have like any intention to leave? Like I knowing being in the, having been in the car industry world myself, I know like up in the position you were, you're making good money. Like, how did you, were you like, oh, I want to get out? I know you told that in that story, you made it not out of necessity or desire to leave, but just as a natural progression for that, for the car industry. But looking back at it now, where you're like, I'm so much happier, or I wasn't really happy then.
I'm so much happier. So it was a long time coming. Like it was something I did because it was what I was exposed to. I mean, my dad was in the car business. It provided a great life financially. I didn't get to see him a ton growing up because he was working a lot, and that was kind of one of the sacrifices. But everybody has to sacrifice. So it's not like it was anything out of the ordinary. I know I have friends now that don't have anything financially, and they're sacrificing a lot of time away from their family to try. And I think we all try it. But yeah, like if we could all just like paint this beautiful picture, like this is what I want my life to look like, it probably doesn't look like a 70-hour work week away from your family where you have to miss birthdays and holidays. And sure, they have food on the table, and sure, they can take one vacation a year that might seem cool, but you miss so much else. I think most people would like to spend time with their family and be there every moment they can, right? Like, I don't know anybody who wouldn't want that. I just didn't know it was actually possible. So like, I just was, I progressed in the car business. It was great. And yeah, I was making insane money. Like if I told you the money I walked away from, that I quit my career, and I quit. I wasn't fired. I wasn't pushed out. I left, and it severed many relationships in my life, and it was a total faith move. I believe in Jesus, and I felt called to do something else. And I felt like, okay, like I'm going to do something that most won't. I'm going to give everything to God, right? At the time I quit my job, I was in the middle of remodeling my dream house.
Mhm.
And every dollar of cash that I had saved up was tied up in this remodel. I was living in another house and had all my bills, and knowing that when I quit, I would have to buy 2 cars, and there was a lot that would have to change. There's a lot that would happen. And me and my wife prayed about it and said, you know what? There's a really good chance we lose everything and have to move in with her parents. That was a real conversation. And guess what? We were good with it. Like our hearts were sincerely good with it. And we've prayed, God, like if there's a way to get out of the car business and into whatever the next step is, like, I don't want to plan it. I want to let you just have full control over it. It was a moment in my life where I had to give it all to God, every single thing. And I truly I expected to lose everything. And God found ways. He opened doors that I would have never been able to strategically open. Only He did.
Mhm.
So if anyone asks a question like, David, like, how did you do it? I didn't do anything. I opened up my camera app and filmed myself speaking about things that I was passionate about and just put it out on the internet. Like God controlled the rest. And dude, if I could tell you the craziest thing, my first year being a full-time content creator, I made more money, and it's not about the money, but people ask. I made more money my first year as a content creator full-time than I made any year as the vice president of a large automotive group. That says a lot. And what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that to like boast, I'm saying that like there's no reason that should have happened. God opened up so many doors, and I give it all to Him.
In this position that are now, hindsight's 2020. You and your wife, you had to pray about it. You had to discuss. You took that leap of faith. Having made it to the point you are now, and looking back, would you recommend other people make that move into social media, into creating anything, whether that be YouTube, whether that be podcasts or something like that? Do you still think there's value there, or there's enjoyment there for people now in 2025?
100%. I think that honestly, you know how like a resume used to be a thing, like having a resume was important. It still probably is in some, some industries.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like your personal brand, your brand online, your social brand is the resume now. It tells the picture, it paints the picture and tells the story of who you are. And I think a lot of people are either scared to post or scared to make content because they're afraid that their friends and family and people will like disown them. And then I think on the other hand, I think some people try to do it because they want it to work. They want to make money. They see Mr. Beast they see all this success. And even my story, like I don't want my story and my success to make it seem like it's very easy, because it's definitely not. It's a lot of work. But every video that I publish and make, or every post I make on Instagram, I do it because it's fun. Like I really enjoy it. I enjoy telling the story. I enjoy sharing. I enjoy having people come over to my house and working out with me and doing sauna sessions. And yesterday, the founder of Culture, a big cold plunge company that's from Canada all the way through the States, he was in Orlando for a convention, and he messaged me. He's like, dude, like, I know you're in Tampa. I'm in Florida. Like, how far away is Orlando? I was like 2 hours. He says, is there any way I could come and hang out with you this week? And I'm like, yeah, bro, just come. He's like, where should I stay? I said, just stay at my house.
Mm-hmm.
He came, and dude, like we're a good partner. They're a great partner of mine. Like I consider that partnership a good one. But like the relationship we just built was so incredible. And I was able to film and make some content with us together, and learn more from him about the chiller and film that together. It's just like fun. It's like, now the experiences that I was going to have anyway, I'm sharing it with other people to give them inspiration that like, hey, you can do this too. Like, I think a lot of people are lonely. So other than like the business side of it, I think a lot of people are lonely, and we don't really have a lot of friends that are like-minded. And the second you start posting online who you actually are, like not who you want to be, or who you are around your dad, or who you are around your mom, or who you are around your grandparents, like, because we can kind of change in the scenes that we are in. But when you open up that camera and you are talking about something that you are super passionate about, it shows. And then the algorithm will put that video, they don't care who you are, they'll put that video in front of other people who are interested in that exact same thing to the exact same level. And all of a sudden, now you have a direct line of communication and a connection with people all over the world who are just like you, who are interested in the same things you're interested in. And to me, that's so valuable because like my network of real friends expanded so large when I just started to consistently post. So to answer your question, I feel like I go off on tangents, but to answer your question, yes, I think there's more value today than there was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago on being vulnerable and sharing who you are, what you're interested in, and making content online, whether that be through podcasting, sharing fun stuff on social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok and whatever, or Snapchat, or posting long form videos from the heart on YouTube. Like, yes, I think there's so much value to it.
I've talked about this before, but once you go from consumer to creator, the mindset shift you just have on everything else. Like you don't open up, like I'm not incentivized to open up Instagram to like scroll. I'm incentivized to open up Instagram to be like, oh, how did they make that? Or what are they doing? Or like, where's that information coming from? And once you have that mindset shift just on everything, like I don't want to be a consumer. I don't want to sit down like, yes, sure. My wife and I will watch a show or a movie every now and then, but I want to provide value and provide content and whatever that looks like. For me, I've tried YouTube, I've tried social media, and I really enjoy the podcast because I'm able to get that connection. I'm able to discuss actual and like learn and actually get the story of the person. So that's where I've found my enjoyment and my niche. But once you get into creating versus consuming, the world is just totally different.
It's so different. You look at everything different. Every single thing is different. So I was talking to a friend 2 days ago, and she was an influencer. She was an influencer online with a big brand. That big brand made some massive changes, and it kind of rattled her to her core. Like most of her income just vanished. And like her whole presence online kind of like, it was like her whole identity online had changed because the brand that she had been making content for like 10 years no longer saw value in what they were doing and just kind of ended that whole thing. And it kind of like rattled her to where she took this like 3 month sabbatical, stopped posting online, kind of deleted the Instagram app, just kind of stopped. And we were talking, I'm like, like I get where you're coming from, and it's a pain that like I get. But what I look at too is like, unless I was posting, if I had an Instagram channel where it was like blue pens only, and all I did was posted pictures of blue pens, and then all of a sudden there was no blue pens anymore, that would suck, right? But like your Instagram was you, and it was like your husband and your kids, and like it was like it's like a yearbook. Every time you post, it's like that's a memory that you created, and you can go back and see it again. And more so than that, like your kids get to see that. Like we don't have photo albums anymore. We don't like our parents don't no longer like ching, and then go get the film developed and put it in these cool photo albums where we can like go back in and look. Our photo albums are social media. So when I die one day, my kids don't have a physical photo of me. Well, they have some, but like it's not like it should be. But they can go back into YouTube and Instagram and all the other social media accounts. God forbid those are deleted for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And they can see who I was. They can show their grandkids who I was if they want to. And, I share that because it's like, I feel like sometimes there's a shift. Like some people have social media to doom scroll, like you were talking about, and they just consume and they just scroll and they mindlessly scroll and consume. And that's not great. Don't want to just judge anybody, but like that's not the greatest thing to do. But if you think, instead of just scrolling and doom scrolling and consuming, I want to share things like not so much for a random audience in the world, but like I want to share things that my family and my kids can see who we were and see who I was when I'm long gone. And I think that might shift some of the creative mindsets to people out there. And it's not boasting like, oh, I went to Tahiti or I went to Thailand. And like, you're not boasting, you're sharing a memory. It's your memory book. It's your yearbook showing the things that you and your family or you did that's freaking cool. And don't feel like you're boasting about it. Just unless you are like, look at me, I'm really cool holding $1 million or something. But like, just share because it's something you're excited that you did and you want your kids at some point to be able to see that. I don't know. That's kind of the way I've looked at it.
You shared the importance of authenticity, and being your true self, and not the person you are with, your family, your dad, your friends, or whatever that is, just being that true self, because we all do kind of put on that facade at times when we are with different people. It's actually something that I've been thinking about a lot, about writing about. I was just talking about it the other day with somebody, is like, I feel like my opinions and my ideology and a lot of my beliefs are kind of built on like this house of cards currently. Like, it's just what I've consumed, what I've been told, what I've listened to over the years. And when I sit down and I reflect, like, what's actually like my guiding core principles, what do I base my decisions on, so I can actually make the decision that sits best with me. For you, that's your faith, that's your religion, which for me, I've been like really kind of, it's not something I've really thought about before until recently. How did you navigate getting on social media and actually being that true self without those barriers that people have?
So being in the car business, you realize like the people who are always in your corner and they're always talking you up and they're always hyping you up and they're always there for you. Um, it kind of like shell shocks you when like something happens in their life and they either quit or they move and you never hear from them again.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened a lot in my life, and I'm like, man, like that is insane. Like it's insane how someone can feel so real, and then the second like they're no longer side by side with you, they vanish. And some of those people in my life like had made an impact on me to where I stopped eating a certain way, I stopped drinking a certain way, I stopped acting a certain way, I stopped being a certain way, and it felt like I was a facade, like I was being someone I wasn't. I was doing something I wasn't. I was playing a sport that I didn't actually enjoy. And there's a lot of examples, but I don't want to give any. I actually just want to say this. I just said screw it. I'm going to just share who I am on social
Mm-hmm.
media. My wife loves me for me, and that's enough. Jesus loves me for me, and that's enough. And my kids love me for me. That's enough. If 5, 10, 100, 1,000 people on social media don't like me for me, guess what? I love you anyway.
Yeah.
So I started just not caring. Like, like you just
Yeah.
stop caring. And here's the cool thing too. Someone told me this and I actually loved it. If you post who you are, like really who you are, and you're proud of that, that's all that really matters. But if somebody comments something negative about who you are, what you just shared, that's good for the algorithm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some of those viral posts have so much negativity, and it's
Yep.
not like I posted it for negative reasons. I have a post that went crazy on Instagram recently, and it's still going crazy. And it's me shirtless walking through a market in the jungle of Costa Rica, sharing how aloe vera is a scam. Not really; it works for some things, but how coconut oil is so much better for your skin if you get fried, and
Mm-hmm.
it prevents your skin from actually peeling, and it prevents your skin from actually like drying out. Whereas most of the store bought aloe, and it's not aloe vera leaves. Like if you went and took some aloe vera leaves, yes, that's good. I think
Mm-hmm.
coconut oil is better. But I just shared how I've been using coconut oil and my family's been using coconut oil, and we're in the sun every day of our lives. We don't wear a single ounce of sunscreen, and I haven't like peeled like a lizard in probably 5 years. And I used to peel all the time when I used to wear a ton of sunscreen, when I used to put all the organic aloe vera gels and stuff that you buy
Mm-hmm.
at the store. I used to peel all the time. Every year I would peel my entire back off like twice a year. That can't be healthy. And one day I decided I'm going to try. One day I didn't even decide. It was the only thing I had in the house. I got fried. We were on a trip and I had coconut oil because I was cooking eggs. And I was like, God, I remember like whenever I use coconut oil, like to oil pool, like my lips
Mm-hmm.
always felt really moist for like days. I'm just going to put this on my face and my shoulders and see what happens. The next day I felt amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, my skin feels like really nourished. This is crazy. So I shared a reel, and it's one of the most shared reels I've ever posted. It's got more shares than likes, but the
Really?
comments are all negative. They're like, look at
Yeah.
this. We were in a store with his shirt off. Whatever happened to no shirt, no shoes, no service? And I think it's all the people posting that stuff that's causing the algorithm to just be like, oh, everyone likes this.
Yeah.
Let's keep putting it out there. It's got like 2 million views or something, and I posted it a month ago. It's wild.
Yeah, that's an awesome way to look at it. Do you still advocate and do your cold plunge like daily, or what's your protocol for that? Yeah.
I just got out of the cold plunge. That's why I'm shirtless
Yeah.
right now. So we just got out. Me and my kids are starting this little series you'll see on Instagram. It's questions from the cold.
Oh,
So
cool.
every day, like I interview one of them and ask them like 3 questions. So it's cool because like to answer your question, yes, I cold plunge every day. I sauna every day. Unless I'm traveling, then I'll do a cold shower. I'll try to find a cold plunge somewhere. But am I like a freak about it? No. Do I do it every morning at 4:00 in the morning? No, absolutely not. Did I ever? No. I would do
Yeah.
morning cold plunges, and I thought they were great. But also, like I live in Florida, it's 95 degrees outside. I would much rather cold plunge at 2 in the afternoon. Um, do a long cold plunge in the middle of the day. I cold plunge at night doing contrast therapy. I probably accumulate 10 minutes in the cold every day, but I don't have like a schedule on my wall where like, okay, 3-minute cold plunge, check. I just get in it when I feel like I want to. But that's also the change of life. Like I work from home now. I'm a content creator, so I'm able to just go jump into a cold plunge, and that's actually kind of my job now. Like I get
Yeah.
to film myself getting well and sharing that. And to answer your question, yes, I get cold every single day for the most part, unless I just can't, unless there's something going on or we're traveling and it just isn't a possibility. But huge advocate for cold plunging. I try to do all of the wrong things. I try to do everything opposite of what everybody on the media is saying. So like cold plunging diminishes your gains by 66%. How big? I don't want to get any bigger. Like I'm happy with but I cold plunge after every workout, every single
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
I wonder how big I would be if I
Yeah.
didn't. But like,
Yeah.
but I also don't cold plunge for 15 minutes in 50-degree water like that study. I cold plunge for maybe a minute and a half after my workout just to feel freaking good.
Is there a cold plunge that you use that you like the best? I know they've been popping up so much. There's so many different brands out there.
So there's so many, and I'm not probably, I guess I am, like the brands tell me I'm like the only one who's not exclusive. Most of the cold plunge advertisements or influencers you see are exclusive with them, so they have to say what they say. I have no exclusivity with anybody, so I can be honest and talk about every brand. And that's kind of the cool thing that makes my channel a different resource is you're not going to just see me talk about one cold plunge and say, this is the best. And then as soon as that contract's over, I move on to another one and say, this is the best. Like some people you see, no names. I'm not going to name anybody, but it's a hard question because at the end of the day, it's just cold water.
Yeah.
So if somebody's watching this and they're like, all right, here's the big, or listening to this and they're like, all right, cool. Here's David's favorite cold plunge, right? I like getting into a cold shower just as much as I like getting into a $15,000 cold plunge that makes ice.
Yeah.
So many in between that are good, and they're all good in their own ways. Like the water is cold. That's like rule number one theory number one is it's a box that holds water that makes it cold. I also prefer one that is easier to maintain, and the desert plunge, cold plunge, is a very easy to maintain cold plunge. It's very simple. It's kind of like a DIY. It's a insulated, cooler looking cold plunge with a external chiller off to the side with a tube going in through that and a filter. Ozone is great. There's a lot of stuff. Like if anybody wants to get a lot of resources, I created a playlist on my YouTube channel now. Like it says cold plunge reviews only. It's not all the fluff. Like I have a lot of different pieces of content where it's like the time and temp of a cold plunge, morning versus afternoon versus night. There's a lot of other stuff, but if you want to see just the reviews and actually like find one that looks good, I won't review junk. I don't want to waste time doing a review on a product that is just junk. I just won't talk about it. So there are people that are like, hey, David, why have you never reviewed X? And I'm like, because it's junk. I got one and I tried it and I couldn't get the chiller to even turn on. And they sent me a new one and that chiller didn't work either. And I said,
oh, geez.
Oh, thank you. I just won't review this one.
I have a sauna inbound, a heavenly heat sauna. Yes. Is that the Eco?
That's the Eco.
Yeah, I got the Eco coming.
Bro,
how do you like it?
It's a phenomenal sauna. I'm curious because like I don't even know if I should say this. I'm gonna tell you, but like they sent me some kind of little gizmo that I plugged in, and I'm able to bypass the safety, so I can turn the heat to like 200 if I want to, which is insane. Like an infrared sauna over 185 degrees is just nuts.
Yeah.
So it gets really hot really fast. It does feel cleaner. Like I've been in saunas where like you can smell. It's not like off gassing, but you can just kind of smell stuff, glues and stuff. And it's a very clean sauna. It is a one person, so like that's the only downside is like you won't be able to really enjoy like the community aspect of
Mm-hmm.
it, which I'm a huge fan of getting a lot of people together and getting
Yeah.
into a sauna. But dude, for a solo sweat sesh, that's why there's a reason that it's right there
Yeah. I
inside
mean,
multi.
I'm still apartment bound, my wife and I. So
Yeah.
it's perfect for that. Just a standard 120-volt outlet, just plug it in. I'm really excited to get that
Yeah, I'm
going.
stoked for it, bro. I want to hear about it when you get it set up. It sets up so easy. I built the thing
Yeah.
in 15 minutes myself. I mean, everything about it is it's an easy sauna to recommend. And it's not crazy expensive. Like if you consider the little pop-up tents that either use steam or hot air
Mm-hmm.
for $1,000, and those are honestly like I've done reviews on them and they're cool. Like they're definitely cool. They serve a purpose, but like that's $1,000
Yeah.
for what is this, $4,900, like under $5,000. You have a legit sauna that you press a button. It has chromiotherapy lighting. It's got ventilation. It's a nice wooden sauna, and you're gonna be happy with it.
Do you traditionally use an infrared, like, or do you go back and forth with a traditional sauna?
I go back and forth. So I have a full spectrum infrared sauna out by my gym, my outdoor
Cool.
gym. So
Mm-hmm.
after 99% of my workouts outside, like I'll turn the sauna on while I'm working out. And
Mm-hmm.
after my workout, like as soon as I'm done, I'm like, all right, guys, let's go jump in the sauna. We'll get in the sauna for 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes 5, depends on what kind of workout. If we are cooked, we'll do 5 minutes. But I love doing an infrared sauna like that right after a workout because the heat on the skin isn't so intense,
Mm-hmm.
but the heat from the infrared will cause your body to continuously push out sweat.
Yeah.
And actually, I've noticed because I'll do both. Like I experiment with a lot of it, and I got so much content that's coming. Like I'm gonna probably have more videos posted on YouTube than Thomas DeLauer by the next 2 years because I just have so much that I'm enjoying making content about. Um, but I've noticed that like when I get into a 200 plus degree traditional sauna after a workout, the heat is it's heavier on the skin. And
Mm-hmm.
I track my heart rate with a Garmin. I know it's not perfect, but like I notice my heart rate doesn't continue going up. It kind of stays around like 115, 120. Whereas when I get into the infrared, my skin feels comfortable because it's 170 degrees, the one that I'm talking about. Um, but I'm sweating like insane and my heart rate's at like 135, 140 sitting down.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that is. I'm trying to do a little more research to figure that out. And if you have any suggestions, that would be cool. But I just really feel like that is giving my body more of the effect that I'm looking for
Mm-hmm.
than a traditional right after workout.
I'm excited. This will be my first time even trying an infrared sauna, and I just went and bought one because I the reviews were so good on it, and I've been wanting one, but I've always done a traditional sauna, so I'm really excited to get in there and try an infrared.
Right, right.
I saw you did have Paul Saladino over, and I saw you guys made that shake of like raw milk, raw beef,
Yep.
honey. How was that?
It was interesting. I never would have thought about doing that. It's like, like some people are like, huh, I wonder if I could walk out in the sun and not wear sunscreen. Like I wonder, like
Mm,
I've always wondered that. I've never looked at a package of raw meat and thought, I wonder if this in a blender would be good. I just
yeah,
haven't.
yeah,
And I think most people feel the same way. Like
yeah.
I have a friend who lives in Dubai. His name's Tanner Shuck. He does a ton of content and he's been doing meat smoothies for years. I've seen him like take his leftover steaks and stuff and throw them in a blender and
Mm,
he'll make a meat smoothie, like straight up meat.
yeah,
I've never been so bold to try that, but like
yeah.
Paul was telling me he came over and I had some burgers and had some stuff. Like I was like, dude, we're gonna cook out. He's like, dude, I've been doing like raw meat smoothies lately. I'm like, what? He's like, we'll have to try one later, but yeah, like I'll put raw milk and organic frozen blueberries and some honey and bee pollen and and then put,
Mm,
it's not a ton. It's not like a whole packet. It's a quarter. I think the first smoothie he made for both of us was just a quarter of a pound of just grass fed, high quality ground beef. And I think mentally I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be so weird. But then I put it back and like the only thing that makes it weird is like the fat from the meat
yeah.
creates a little silkiness that you're just not used to when you're drinking like a smoothie. So there was like a little silkiness almost, and maybe some strings from the meat that got like pulled but didn't get
Mm,
completely cut. So there's a couple little strings that would like dangle out of my mouth. I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. But it was good. I actually have done it like 3 or 4 times since. Not going to do it every day. It's not something I want to put on my everyday list, but it was good. I know the nutrition that I'm getting in my body from it is up there. So I don't know. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not telling anyone to do it, but once
Yeah.
again, I experiment with this stuff. Like, I enjoy trying different things like that. And I haven't gotten E. coli and died from it yet. So that's good news. I
It's
did
a
get a
win.
lot of people commenting and even messaging me when I posted that, like, how insensitive of you, like, my friend lost his kid. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't post this thinking that your friend lost his kid and it was going to trigger you. But like, I'm trying something new and I'm sharing my experience. And at the end of the day, like most E. coli actually comes from people touching it and putting their hands in their mouth. Like if you look it up,
Really?
yeah, it
What
doesn't.
when you eat like your day-to-day diet, do you kind of fall into that Saladino kind of animal base with like fruits and veggies, or what are you, or excuse me, fruits, no veggies? Uh, how are
I'm
you
pretty
eating?
open, man. I'm 80% animal based because I love how it
Yeah.
makes me feel. Like I
Mhm.
feel full, I feel satiated, I feel energetic, I don't feel groggy, my brain feels on fire. But I also have 4 kids and we're not strict. So like there are goldfish and Cheez-Its in my house. We do sometimes have buns with our burger and
Mhm.
sometimes some we try to, if we're gonna eat like chips, we try to eat cleaner chips like Masa chips and even like
Mhm.
Siete and Boulder who don't use seed oils. But at the end of the day, like limiting oils, period, is probably a good thing. I don't think we really need a ton of oils in our diet to like optimize our life unless it's coming from fish or even from beef or eggs, like not oils, but you know what I mean, like the omegas that we're
Those
getting,
fats, yeah.
just fats in general. So but no, I'm not super strict. Actually, it was kind of fun when he was over. He was asking, he's like, "So how do you as parents, how do you guys get your kids to eat so clean?" I'm like, "They don't." Like we have the food. Like we'll make a fruit spread every day, so there's always grab and go fruit out on the counter. Like we've been doing that over the summer. It's not an always thing, but we started doing it. It's been pretty cool. Like even for me,
Mhm.
like feeling a little hungry or like I need a little something, I'll just go grab a couple strawberries, some dragon fruit or whatever we've cut up for the day. But if the kids want to go grab some, grab a Johnny Pop ice pop or something, we're not like, I'm not telling them no. Like
Yeah.
they know we talk openly enough as a family about certain foods and like the things that me and my wife are currently like testing and doing. We talk openly about how it's making us feel and we let them try it too. And they also acknowledge how certain foods and certain eating habits make them feel. Like even sometimes they'll eat, like my son this morning, he's 5 years old. This is a 5 year old. This morning he got up a little later than me and I'd already done my morning routine and I had my coffee. I had a coffee that I put collagen and I put salt and I put raw milk and honey in it. It's a pretty good little concoction. Sometimes I'll put a raw egg yolk in there. So it's not just coffee. And he's like, "Dad, I want a coffee." I'm like, "All right." So I made him a coffee very similar and he drank like half of it and he's like, "Oh man, Dad, like my stomach hurts. I think I need to eat before I have coffee." And I'm like, "Yeah, you do,
Yeah.
bro." Yes, I'm so proud of you for just
Yeah.
acknowledging that because most kids don't know. So like, "Oh, my tummy hurts. Give me some Pepto Bismol."
Mhm.
No, it's probably just the what you're putting in your body.
Absolutely. I've been I've been carnivore. I've been more animal based. I recently started adding vegetables back into my diet. Peppers, asparagus,
Yeah,
squashes, things like that. I doesn't change how I feel. I feel great. I'll probably keep adding those in because I like them. I like the textural difference. Like I kind of
yeah.
like a crunch and stuff like that. But now,
Asparagus.
yeah. And now that I'm training for an Ironman, like I'm not getting enough carbs from fruit. So I have to. So I've started like getting like really high quality sourdough, stuff like that, where I can actually get those carbs in and I feel fine. Like I've been super conscious of what I've been eating for a while. And if I do something that I don't like I'll stop. I won't do it. But I think having the ability to actually eat with intention, whether that be like a super strict carnivore diet initially, just so you eliminate everything and then introduce back things back in is huge. Because once you have control over like what you're eating and how it makes you feel so much better just in general. Like I feel
Yeah,
great.
dude, and you can pull those levers. Like you're training for an Ironman right now, and you need more carbs, so you can pull the levers of the foods will give you more carbs that also make you happy, but also
Mhm.
like fuel you and you don't feel weird after you eat them. I have friends that run a ton and like they eat donuts all the time and they eat
Mhm.
really bad carbs. And it's like, bro, how are you functioning? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's crazy. I'm not that way. Like I do like apple sauce. Like apple
Mhm.
sauce is to me a really yummy, easy
Mhm.
grab and go like carb if I'm gonna go for a longer run. But yeah, I love asparagus. I eat asparagus. Not I don't want to say often. We don't eat it nightly, but we eat asparagus probably once a week. And peppers sometimes, onions sometimes, fermented foods all the time. So yeah, like I'm not super duper strict. I mean, we went on the animal based gathering trip with Paul and a bunch of animal based
Cool.
loving people to Costa Rica, and it was a great trip. And I'm not like no front here. I tell Paul and I tell anybody like I definitely agree with the animal based way of eating. I think that it's a phenomenal way of eating. I think that should be like the base how we eat. But I think also like microdosing some stuff in your body allows your body to become more resilient too. Because like I love eating animal based. I feel
Mhm.
phenomenal when I eat animal based. But I'm not that disciplined when I have like my wife, my 4 kids, and we're like traveling different places. I'm not that disciplined where I'm going to be able to or willing to pack all my own foods and like make sure I have everything perfect. So I leave a little room for that resilience play.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, like I'm not shredded or cut or like I don't expect like to show off my body and people be like, wow, that guy's freaking fit. So like I'm good with that. Like I'm good with my energy levels and how I feel and how I look. I do know I could tighten some things up if I wanted to,
Mhm.
but like I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I feel happy. But I try to leave some room for that resiliency where I try some different things or allow like if I want to have like a Mr. Beast bar, probably
Mhm.
not the greatest choice, but I'll try one. Like I'll
Yeah.
give it a try and not feel bad about it.
It's super difficult. Like I was listening to Rich Roll's podcast, and he had a guest on recently who's like a doctor and like a nutritionist, and he's vegan, and he just talks about like all the science and all the research about being vegan and about how seed oils don't actually have any like negative data or science. And it's so frustrating just knowing that you can find science and there are people who are going to talk on either side. And it's just like, I don't even know. Like it's impossible to try to like actually decide who's telling the truth or what's going on, because theoretically all the like everybody should have access to the same science. Why are some people interpreting it differently, or what's going on there? And it's just so hard to navigate that I don't even try anymore. I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to eat how I feel, and I'll try different things in different ways, and whatever it is, it is.
Yeah. No, and that's a great thought. And I think that's what's so hard for 99% of the people out there and why they just don't try it. Cause it's like, what do I do? Redmond salt is supposed to be super good for you. And now all of a sudden it's the worst for you with
Scott,
lead. Guess what? I love Redmond salt. And it's
yep,
the only
me
salt
too.
I have in my house. And I'm going to
Same.
continue to eat Redmond salt because I believe in them. I like them.
Mhm.
I like the brand. I like the salt. I like the way it tastes. I mean, to me, whatever. We're getting lead in everything we eat.
Mhm.
It's such a small amount. I don't know. I don't know. Once again, I'm not a doctor. Nothing that I say is medical advice. These are my choices.
Yep.
But yeah, like I tried vegan. I did before I even
Mhm.
any content. I tried vegan because I was like, man, I want to lose some weight. Like I'm getting a little poofy. We had some kids, and I'm getting a little poofy. I work out. Nothing's really changed in my workout routines. Maybe it's my food. I'm gonna go vegan. I never felt worse in my life, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like mentally, I never felt more foggy and just not connected to things and how my energy levels were in my life, and it didn't suit me. It suits people. Like being
Mhm.
keto, I tried keto. It wasn't for me. Like it just wasn't a diet that made me feel really good. As soon as I started eating carnivore, I was like, I felt like I was breaking a law. Like I can really eat nothing but meat, like steaks
Mhm.
and burgers. Like I can eat nothing but red meat. Like this is awesome. I love it. And it made me feel good. And I had energy and everything felt great until the 2 week mark where I had the carnivore craps. And
Yeah,
that was, I was like, what is happening right
it
now?
was
But
dangerous.
through that, and that's like some people, that's a limiter. You get to that point and you're like,
Yeah.
I can't do this. I need some fiber in my body or some fruit or something. And I think that's why as soon as I heard about animal based, I was like, that's a diet I can get behind because truthfully, like you got to also think like like, what does God really want us to eat? Does he want us to survive off of processed foods? No. Even in the Bible, like people ate manna bread to just survive, not to thrive. They always saved
Mm-hmm.
the meat and the fruit and the wine and the honey for like festivals because they didn't have access to it like we do now.
Mm-hmm.
We have access to it. Is it crazy expensive? Yeah, it is, unless we grow our own. But like to me, it's like, what would God want us to eat? Would he want us to eat a box of Cheez-Its to just get through the day and survive, or would he want us to eat one burger that cost about the same? I don't know. Like that's a question that everyone has to like answer on their own. But to me, it's like a single ingredient, one sourced food is probably a better choice. And if I can put more of that in my body, whether it's a fruit or a vegetable or honey or milk or whatever, I'm probably doing my body a better service than just grabbing a box of processed stuff that has no nutrition at all, even though it says it on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think if we just looked at how we feel after certain foods, I think we can answer a lot of those questions without having to go to YouTube and see what diet should I try today.
Absolutely. And people hate on it, but until you've had your ground beef with, your fried bananas and your honey all mixed together, it's good, man.
Good, man.
It's good.
I don't know. I think a lot of people too get confused. They're like, oh man, like I can never eat a burger without a bun. Huh. You've never eaten a burger without a bun the right way then. Like
Yeah.
eating a burger without a bun, like my favorite way to do it, if anybody listening willing to try, I like to just cook my burger medium to medium rare. I put a little bit of Redmond salt on it. They also have a seasoning called Red Rock Barbecue, which is all certain organic spices. I know spices aren't the greatest. And once again, I'm not 100% animal based, so don't hate. I'll put some Red Rock barbecue seasoning from Redmond Real Salt on there. So good. I'll put raw cheddar on top of that thing, let it melt on there a second, and then I'll drizzle some honey on top and put some, I really love pickled red onions. So good. Put some pickled red onions on there. Bada boom, bada bing. That's it. And it's so delicious. And to me, it's like a dessert meal that fills me up, gives me incredible nutrients, and I feel really good about eating it.
Delicious once you know how to make the food, and also excuse me, but also once you've gotten off processed foods for a long time and you actually start to be able to taste how things should taste, it's a game changer.
It's a game changer for sure. It really is. And I'm sure a lot of people listening and watching this are already either like on that line or are over it. So they're like agreeing with us. But man, share this with somebody who is like challenging you and is like, man, like you're crazy for not eating, burger fry every day or whatever, like whatever food people are into. Because that was what happened to me a lot in the car business too. Is like I would try these like fad diets and I would try these cool things. And I got a lot of like people would almost like buy more of the junk food just to be like, oh yeah, David's doing a diet now. Let's order, Five Guys burgers and have them all in front of him. And I'm like, what? Why? Like, why would you do that? Let's support each other. Why not just order burgers without the bun?
Oh, absolutely. Or like every Saturday, ordering pizza so you don't have to go, so you can stay on the floor or something like that.
All right,
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Hey, being that you've tried so much different equipment and things in the fitness space, what is there anything for you that recently you've had or that you recommend that's really moved the needle, that's kind of newer, or maybe what you got?
Man, so there's two things. Me and my wife just got this question, and the answer is yes. So I wasn't even excited about this product when they said, hey, we want to send this to you. Feel free to review it if you want to, but we think you should try it. I'm like, okay. They send it. It sat in my living room for almost 3 months before I ever even opened it. And that was the 8 Sleep. Oh my gosh. Me, I sleep great. Like I don't have any problem sleeping. I wore Whoop for over a year and I got my dialed, man. Everything's good. So I wasn't like that excited about it. And I'm not like a hot or cold sleeper. Holy smokes, dude. That changed the game. It's not hard when I don't have it, but man, like I look forward to my bed.
Dude, you're speaking to the choir.
Yeah, you have one?
I've had mine for like 3 years now, 3 or 4 years now. I've been on it. I had the pod 3. I'm up to the pod 4. Once mine ever kicks, I'll go to the pod 5, but right now the 4 is still kicking and doing great. But I tell everybody, I was like, if this broke, I would immediately buy them that day. I would spend the money, and it's expensive. It's, a couple grand, but so amazing. I tell everybody that I possibly can, like, this is the thing if you need.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's my number one recommended thing to like people who ask me that type of question.
Mhm.
Most of the questions I get are like, hey, like, what's the difference between Desert Plunge and Mod Tub? I want to buy one. And then I go through that specifically. But if someone wants to know, like, if everything broke today, what's the
Mhm.
first thing you would buy? It would be an 8 Sleep.
Yep. Yeah.
And they
100%.
like I don't have like a deal with them.
Me neither.
I love 8 Sleep. You can use discount code MAUS, MAUS, if you want to ever get another one that saves you a taxable amount. I don't even know, but
Yeah.
I don't even know if that code's still active, but yeah, 8 Sleep is definitely worth considering. The second thing is I'm a little disappointed with the accessibility on these because the benefits of what I've experienced have been insane and my family, and that's a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
Mm.
So we recently got the Viteris 320 from OxyHealth. They're $23,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Soft chamber, no oxygen, no concentrated oxygen either. It's free floating oxygen.
Oh, cool.
Pressurizes you down to 1.3 atmospheres, which is similar to like being in 15 to 20 foot of water. So it's a good amount of pressure, allows the oxygen to penetrate deeper into the plasma of your blood so it can travel to different places of your body. And if you're dealing with something like if you do have, a bug, a stomach bug, or just the normal things like with having kids, there are some normal things that happen around school that, make their way in here, the flu, stomach bug, different things like that. My wife has Epstein-Barr, so sometimes she'll have flare-ups. It's almost immediate. You get into the hyperbaric oxygen chamber for an hour and you come out a different person. Like you come out and like you feel better. So, I mean, we love saunas, we love cold plunging, and we will continue to do that for as long as we live. But man, I wish there was a more affordable option for hyperbaric oxygen chambers for people because they also don't have to take up a lot of space. Like the one we have is like the size of what I don't know, a tanning bed would be. It doesn't take up a large space. It's easy to operate. It's safe, and it's changed a lot for our family. And I mean, my wife, she feels it more than I do because I don't really have any injuries. I don't have a ton of things that I'm like trying to work out of. But like my daughter had a stomach bug for 2 days, missed school, was throwing up. It was really crazy. And no, she didn't have a raw meat smoothie. We were thinking. And she's a pretty clean eater though. And nothing was helping. We're pretty holistic. So we had a lot of different holistic stuff. And I was like, hey, I know it's gonna be crazy, but why don't we get in hyperbarics together? And she was a little nervous because like it was her first time getting in it, and it's pressure, and you have to equalize yourself. So we got in there for a little over an hour together, and when she got out, she's like, "Dad, I actually feel better." She didn't throw up after that. She was able to eat food, and it's not like some miracle thing, but man, kind of is. Like there was some like we've experienced some not miracles, but some really rapid healing from using a hyperbaric oxygen chamber.
That's really cool. Yeah, they are super inaccessible. I imagine they will be for a while. It's hard to, like with the sauna, you can kind of get that tent or that blanket to get some of the effects, but you can't, there's no toning down a hyperbaric.
I
Yeah.
know. I mean, I don't know. Like to me, like I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, there are some components on this that I still don't understand why they're expensive, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like
Really?
just like I mean, you see some of them that are like the hard chamber and it looks like like NASA designed it, but then there's some that aren't like it doesn't seem that difficult to build. I imagine a world in the next 5 years where they're more accessible.
Really?
I think there are going to be brands come out that are gonna come up with some options that are a little more affordable. And once again, like there's such a spread of different therapies you can get from the pressure to having oxygen to not having oxygen. I don't know. I feel like they'll become more accessible in the next 5 years. I think the hyperbarics, if I was predicting, I think hyperbaric will be one of the next hot trends in wellness within the next 5 years.
I mean, I believe it. You have all the people talking about them. I mean, you're experiencing the benefits. I mean, if it's really there, it'll come out. It'll find a way. People have been like the biohacking longevity space is on such a upward trend right now that it's gonna be somewhere if it can be.
For sure. And it was really cool. Like I mentioned it to Paul and he's like, do you really think those things work? Cause he I don't know if he's ever used one or whatnot, but when he was here, I was giving him a tour of all the stuff. And it's like, dude, if you want to use anything, feel free. And he's like, you really like the hyperbarics? Like you really think it's like it works? And I shared the story about Ella, and I shared the story about my wife. And I was like, yeah, I was like, honestly, like anytime I'm feeling a little off, or if I feel a little heavy, like if I just feel like I'm not like circulation isn't perfect and I'm pretty in tune with my body, I'll go get that for an hour and a half and I come out and I feel good. Like I just feel
Mm.
better. He ordered one that day.
Did he? Did
Yeah.
he try yours? Did he like it?
He didn't. He didn't even try it. He just ordered it.
You just ordered it.
Yeah.
What a stud.
What a
He's
love
got
it.
he's got it figured out. The Costa Rica living, just off the grid, local farmers market, doing his surfing. That's the move, kind of like if you can have your family, if you can have connection down there, and just avoid
He's
getting
got
stuck. Yeah.
connection. Like, so we got to experience a week with him out there living his
Mhm.
lifestyle, like going to his house and surfing his breaks and going to the farmers markets. And it was really cool. I posted a video about that on YouTube. I had so much content from that trip, and I just really like, I kind of struggled to like showcase it. I couldn't figure
Mhm.
out how I really wanted to showcase it on YouTube, because a lot of it too, like I didn't even want to show. Like I just wanted to just
Mhm.
enjoy it and experience it. And I have the content, but it's like I don't. There were some really cool moments, but like yeah, he's got it figured out. He's got a great community there. Um, one wondered, like I used to wonder. I'm like, man, I wonder if it's like kind of lonely in Costa Rica,
Mhm.
Like, but no, it's not. Like it's
No.
definitely not. It was so amazing, and it's definitely like I want to go back ASAP.
Yeah, I would love to. That's kind of, my wife's in medical school right now here up at CU. And so I'm like, after, like, that's our end game. Like, let's get somewhere tropical, somewhere nice, somewhere off the grid once we have our kids. Like, that's the goal down the line.
Go, man.
Well, David, I appreciate your time today, dude. This was a fun conversation. It's cool getting to talk to you. I have a tradition on this podcast where I ask my guests who would be somebody that they'd be most interested in talking to or listening to on a podcast. Then I'll do my best to reach out, get them on, and of course credit them with them being there. Who's that person for you?
Ooh. All right, high level. Andrew Huberman. I
Yeah,
love all of his
for
conversations.
sure.
Probably similar level would be Thomas DeLauer. Love
Okay.
Thomas. Super stud. And then probably a little more accessible would be Shervin Shares from YouTube.
Okay.
He's always a good guy to hear. And then another cool name would be like Ricky Ireland. He's at, if you need a contact, I can help you. He's became a good friend of mine. He lives around here, and I've gotten him into a lot of the health and wellness stuff.
Oh,
But he's
sweet.
like a Mr. Beast style YouTuber.
Oh, cool.
So he has millions of subscribers.
Mhm.
And he has became a little more open and vocal with like his journey through health, and he's a wise dude. So
Yeah.
he'd be cool. I just gave you a
That-
lot. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'll go back. I after I'm done, I go back and I like jot these down. So I have like a notebook where I have everybody's guests, and that way I can follow up and make sure I do my best to get them on, because all those people are definitely somebody I'd want to talk to.
Right.
Well, man, where can people follow you? Where can they get more of David?
Yeah, man. So YouTube is always cool. It's a little more like arm's length because like
Mhm.
we're not directly connected. You just get to watch content, which is always appreciated. And it's just my name, David Moss Jr., Maus, and then Instagram as well. Instagram, I'm super active. I don't have anybody manage the account for me. I respond and do all that fun stuff. So it's just D Moss Jr. So DMAUSJR. And feel free to reach out, message, comment, ask questions, engage, be my friend. I'm always looking forward to making new friends, because every one of my friends was once a complete stranger.
Yeah.
So don't be a stranger.
Awesome, man. Well, I've enjoyed following you. I look forward to keep seeing what you're posting and doing, because you, like you said, your authenticity really shows through, and it's really fun. You actually feel like you're engaging, and you're not just watching like the highlight reel. You're there. It's fun.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Well, I'm following you too, and I'm excited to see your journey to the Ironman.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Thank you for listening to the Chase Merrill podcast.